Come on in, guys. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Sorry about what happened earlier. Sorry about what happened earlier. Every so often, this surround sound that's attached to my vlog. Every so often, when I don't use it a lot, some glitch happens. So now I'm on my phone, and I hope you can join me. Come on in, come on in, come on in. For those who are in the courtyard, thanks for coming, thanks for coming, thanks for your thumbs up, thanks for your thumbs up. Welcome, guys, welcome. Come on in, 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 guys. Come on in, guys. Come on in, guys, come on in. Come on in, guys, come on in, come on in. Thanks for coming, thanks for coming. Hello, hello, guys. Hello, come on in, come on in, come on in. Hi, Snacky. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to see you. So happy to see you. How was your day? How was your day, Snacky? Hope you had a good day. Hope you had a good day. Hope you had a good day. I am doing well, thanks. I am doing well. Trying to get started here. I had some technical issues. I had to jump off. Okay. Okay. Make sure you like up the live. Snacky, make sure you like up the live. Hello, come on in, come on in. Rob, one child of God, so happy to see you. So happy to see you. So happy to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Are you hearing me? Let me know if you're hearing me. Let me know if you're hearing me. Are you hearing me? Can you hear me? I had some technical issues, so I had to switch. So let me know if you're hearing me. You can hear, okay. Yeah, I was trying to go on my from my computer, but for some reason my surround sound is giving me issues, so I had to switch to my phone. You're blessed to have you too. But tonight I don't know if you were here last week, Raw, when I launched my book club and the book we're reading. This is the book we plan to read. Worthy. Okay, thank you. We plan to read Worthy tonight. And I came on time at 7:30, but my surround sound, no one could hear me. So I had to jump off. So we're going to be discussing this book. It's such a good read that I wanted to share it with everyone and to just do something different and uplifting. You know, so I'm hoping that we could start the discussion soon. A lot of folk was on earlier, but they couldn't hear me. So they all jumped off. So I'm hoping they would come back because I don't want to keep repeating myself. But I'll start in a few minutes because you're here and your time is important. Thank you so much for coming, Watch Queen. Thank you. Hope you're doing well, Watch Queen. Hope you're doing well. So, as you know, Watch, we started the book last week. I had hoped that I would have been able to come on my PC because then I could, while I'm reading the book, I could share it. But I'm having a problem with my surround sound, so I am on the phone. So last week, we talked about, yeah, you were here too when I was having the issues, right? Yeah, so I had to switch to my phone. Sometimes this surround sound on my my vlogging computer gives me trouble, especially when I don't use it a lot. It gives me a lot of trouble. So last week, let's just review last week. Last week we talked about the writer Jamie and her experience growing up as a child. You become what you believe. That's what we spoke about. Hi, Jay Brown. So happy to see you. So happy to see you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. You're appreciated. You're appreciated. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So last week it was becoming. You become what you believe you're worth. So I'm going to continue with that chapter because it's a long chapter. It says we become what we believe we are worth. How many people believe that? How many people believe that? And tell me why it's true for you. You become what you believe you're worth. Is that true for you? Or are you the 2% that has always acknowledged your worth and maintain your worth? So we become what we believe we are worth. I wanted you guys to call in and talk to me, but I'm on the phone, so won't be able to do calling tonight. So drop it in the chat. Do you believe that? Do you believe that you become what you believe you're worth? What does that mean? Let's get the meaning of that first. Then we talk about what does it mean to become what you believe you're worth? What does it mean to you? So we talked about last week our memory from the past, the things that we did or the things that was imparted to us. You know, children must be seen and not be heard. Remember that one? Children must be seen and not be heard. We talked about that one. How that affects us today if we have not broken that cycle, because we don't lend our voice to anything, or we don't think that our opinion is worth it. We think the other person is more better prepared than us, even though we have all the necessary things we need to prepare us. Okay? So what does it mean we become what we're worth? We give up opportunities that we can use to add to a meeting, to add to a job, to add to a relationship, because we have always been told that we must be seen and not be heard, or we have been told that our opinion doesn't matter because we are always pushed aside. So now we're going to go on to the next phase. Yes, what we believe is very important. What we believe, and why do we believe what we believe? Child of God, why do we believe what we believe? Joyful, thanks so much for coming, Joyful. Thanks so much for coming. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Why belief is an important part of our life? I'm so sorry this system is not working tonight, because I really wanted you guys to call in and talk about it. Why do you think? Oh, you just saw it. I just sent it to you. Literally just sent it to you, Joyful. Because what happened is we planned last week that would come on at 7:30. I was here at 7:20, but I'm using a special vlogging system, and it deals with the more I use it is the better it works, and I haven't been using it for a while, so I could not get it to work tonight, so I have to switch to the phone. So you're not late. We just started. We're discussing Worthy, the book Worthy. Last week we talked about the things that we're told in our life that spills over into our adult life sometimes. And if you had positive reinforcement growing up, but maybe end up in a relationship or a friendship that does not validate who you are, maybe it's the way we talk, the way we live, that it doesn't fit in. And because we want to fit in, we tend to fall in, and yet we are uncomfortable because we're not being our true selves. Okay? So tonight now, so that was what we discussed last week. Tonight we're going to go a little deeper into areas that creates us not to embrace our worthiness. And when we talk about our worthiness, we're talking about the innate person in us. If you were always a strong person, you're always a person that knows what you want in life, that you go after what you want in life, doesn't matter what struggle hits you, with God and your strength and support, you move forward. Right, you are your true self now. So we'll get to that, Snacky, in a minute, because that's where we're heading to. How do we? Belief is confirmation. Confirmation, but belief is confirmation of what? Confirmation of what, Rawborn? What is the confirmation of? Are you confirming that if someone says you can't do something, yet you know you can, would you confirm that because they say it, I can't do it, so it's okay? You see, we're looking at both of it. The worthiness is the positive side, but how do you embrace your worthiness? Worthiness, we're talking about our innate, who God made us to be. What you believe, what your belief system is. Okay? Self-validation. Okay? So let's go with Raw, and then we're going to go with Joyful. So Raw says, confirmation in what we believe. But is it a belief that is lining up with your authentic self, or is it a belief that you were taught, something that you were taught so you believe it? Someone says if someone tells them that they can do something, it makes them want to do it more. So that's your authentic self. That's your maintaining our authentic self, maintaining who God wants us to be. But that in a perfect world, that works. But in a world where we want to be attached to something or somebody, or as I said, we have a friend, a family, brother, sister, spouses that never lends the ability for us to shine. So that's what I'm talking about, Raw. Are we going to believe what oppressed us, or we're going to believe who we are in who God made us to be? Yes, we are born in sin and shaped in iniquity, but cultures, friendship, relationship can really take away our worth, or can let us conform to what they say, Raw, and believe it. If you disagree, let me know. I won't. Stand true yourself. How long did that start? Have you always been like that, Julie? Have you always go against the grain to maintain who you are? Has there ever been a point in your life where you believe some of the things that was fed to you, or you walk in the purpose of what was felt, what was said to you, or how you was treated? Because that's what we're saying. There are people who their self-worth, they have always, through everything. Someone said last week that sometimes you have to be able to stand alone for what you believe in. Okay, Jules. And you know, I love to refer to my pastor because he's not only a man of God, but he studies. And when he preaches, you can know he studies. He's deep, and you can acknowledge it. You know, you can align with the experience he's showing. And he said today that there are times when we have to make up our mind to stand alone, if that's what it calls for, to maintain, Julie, as you said, who you are. And kudos to those people who can do that right through their life. I'm not one of them. I've always been dismissed. I've always been told, you think you can do what you think you're doing. I remember in college when I went for my internship, I was in New York. They had I forgot the election year. I think it was 98, either 98 or 97, the Fabulous Five, or it was something five. And I was a part of the campaign management team to sort of spread the word through the communities of what the campaign stands for, what these five congressmen stood for. And I remembered when the campaign was over, they were all pleased. We lost the election, but they were all pleased of how it was led. And when I went back to my internship supervisor to get my assessment to take back to the college of how I did, he said to me, I'll never forget that. He said to me, you're a smart cookie, but where you're trying to go, you'll never get there. And that thing, I worked so hard that year in my internship. And in internships, we don't get paid. We don't get paid. And our internship is 300 hours. Imagine working 300 hours free to get the experience that you need to carry you through the profession. And he said to me, where you think you're going, you're not going to get there. And I remembered at first I was going to ignore it because I want my grade. And I remembered I listened to him and I listened to him. And after I listened to him, while I was exiting the room, I said to him, this statement is going to make me work harder to get where I need to be. So I understand what Snacky said, that the more people tell her that she can't do something, and Jules, the more people tell Jules she can't do something, she doesn't think about it, if I'm understanding her word. She doesn't think about what they're saying because she's goal-oriented and she's going to do what it takes. I doubted for a while. Yes, Raw, the Bible said that we must first serve God. The Bible said we must first serve God, and that's understood. But in serving God doesn't mean we're not going to have obstacles. We're not going to have trials. It's when we are serving God that we experience the most trials. That is my experience. When we're serving God that we experience the most trials. So serving God doesn't negate pain. Serving God doesn't negate negativity come at you. Serving God gives you the strength to maintain the person He made us to be. And in maintaining that, we're gonna walk through some fires. You see? And there are those people who can systematically through their life maintain that. And then there are others that after you've been beat down for so long and life hit you hard, you start to doubt yourself. That doesn't mean you're not going to come back from it. You come back from it stronger. But there are those of us who doubt ourselves. Because we hear it this in this section, we hear it in that section, we hear it in this. Yes, it's going to affect you a bit. But as we grow in God, and as we grow as people and individuals, back to Jules, we remember the strength that God gave us, and we keep going. Okay, let me see what you, okay, remember the word said for us to serve God, we have to believe first. Okay, yes, I understood it. We have to believe before we can serve God. But what I'm talking about, the belief I'm talking about right now, is believing who God make us to be. Yes, we believe in God. I believe in God, and I can see that you believe in God also, Raw. But what I'm saying is, for the sake of this book, what I'm saying is that the belief in culture, even in religion, even in religion, I have listened to people telling people that I've listened to ministers. Let me not say people. I have listened to ministers, especially these big stadium ministers, telling people, poor people, that they want $10,000 before the service is over. And these people dig into their purse and take out every dime they have and give to them. Why? Because they believe that in giving, they're going to end up with a car. So belief works, positive and negative. Look at our political system. You know, Jules, I'm sort of I guess it's my profession. I look at everything and then do a social assessment of it. Why people, I don't look at it necessarily to be a part of it. I look at it, it's a question, why does intelligent people do the things they do? Why do smart people do the things they do? Again, Raw, because of a belief system that they buy into, because, you know, one of the things I love, and I'm not making this into a religious or a church thing, brainwash, exactly. That's where I was going. One of the things I love about my church is an organization. It's not ruled by the pastor. It's not run by the pastor. It's run by God and His Holy Spirit. But I mean the organizational structure of it. We have boards, we have discussion, we vote on them, and we come to an understanding. Right? So if my pastor should get up and says, God tell him that we're to give him $10,000, he would be standing there until Jesus comes. Because no, I don't see a person who's going to get up in our congregation and do it. Because that's not what they're worth. They don't need, hi Lungi, welcome, welcome. They don't need that for God to bless them. You know, look at the political arena. People are minimized down to eating pigs and goats and dogs and donkeys and rats. And then there is a stream of people that is following that. So that's why when I came across this book, I said, what a book for this time, for us to reevaluate that God make us to be who we are with a voice, think. You know, the other thing she talks about. Okay, yes. The other thing she talked about. Enoughness. Because they believe, okay, let me read Lungi on before you. Lungi says, I hear you talking about the word of God. Yes, we're talking about a holistic worthiness. Or worthiness come from God, and how do we maintain that in an environment that sometimes can push us to believe that we are not worthy of standing up and giving a speech. We're not worthy of participating in a function. You know, husbands who sometimes can push us down to less than who God make us to be because they're the man. So Roy is saying, because people believe more in man, people believe in man and not in God, and that's why they behave the way they do. And of course, but let me tell you something. If we're in an organization, church, clubs, even on YouTube, there's some YouTube channel that You know, you have to be a member. When you're a member, you get certain privilege, certain perks, right? So everything takes money, but the money has to have a balance. We can't expect to go in a church and worship every day. The lights have to be paid for, the air condition has to be paid for, the upkeep of the building has to be paid for. That's why the Bible says to take an offering. Or tithes has nothing to do with that. So in everything, we need money to function. So yes, churches need money. But when you have one man running the show and all the money comes to him and everybody is suffering in the congregation, that's not of God. That's not of God. So the writer talks about the moment you learn to believe you're worthy, your entire life, past, future, and your generation, family, and the entire world will change around you. And Julie, I think you, pardon me, I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Yes, they're brainwashed. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, Julie, on what she says. She says the moment we learn to believe that we are worthy, our life, past, present, and future generation becomes better, even our world. How do you understand that? How do you, especially when she says even our world, how do we understand that? The moment we believe we're worthy, our entire life changes. Past and future. The moment we believe we're worthy, our entire life, past and future, well, past generation, how do we influence our past generation? So I'm going to reword this. Our entire future generation and our family, even our world changes. So Julie says positive affirmation is what we need to thrive on. So therefore, Julie, how does that affect your surroundings, so to speak? How, when we realize that we are worthy of who God says we are, how does that affect us? How does it spread, and how does it make our life better? Looney, can you answer that? Roa, did you understand it? Jules, who else is here? Anyone? Anyone? Positive affirmation is what we need to thrive. But what about the person who cannot do that positive affirmation? How about the person? Man is a very powerful tool that helps us to process our beliefs. That's what Raw says. But Raw, what I'm saying is, how do we change if someone does not believe that they're worthy of worthiness that comes from God because of the challenges that they have in life? When you learn or maintaining your worthiness, how does that affect the people around you? Are you understanding me? The moment we learn or accept that we're worthy, our entire life and our future generation and the world around us will change. How will that change take place? Yes. The best example is an example of leadership. We can only try to teach positive things, and we can mirror it also. Like you said, Julie, you're a strong person. You're a strong person, and life will come at you, but you're resilient. So then your children, your neighbor, your friends, they will look and say, boy, she fight through everything. And there are those that will take that again as a negative. But then the point is, the ones that will take it as a positive will use you as an example. Isn't that true, Jules? When a person stops believing others, telling them they're on, that's what we're saying. When you stop believing, and this is what it's saying, when you stop believing that you're unworthy and you accept and learn to believe that you're worthy, everything changes around you. And what are some of the changes that will take place? What are the things that you probably have to do when you will figure out that I'm worthy, I have a voice, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me? Yes, that's where I'm going with this. I don't want to take it too broad. That's where I'm going, Jules. Live to be a role model. When you have found your truth and the worthiness that God has made in you, then we probably have to leave some people. We probably have to leave some companies. We probably have to drop some friends. We probably have to go in a casual mode instead of this person, because sometimes you have to leave some people behind. You can't take dead bodies with you all the while. So if I'm in a group or I have a friend that just constantly keeps putting me down, when I come to the realization through prayer, through reading, through support, that listen, I am worthy. Yes, I have a voice. Yes, I can speak on this topic because I have a knowledge of the topic. I have to move away from the crowd. You have to move away from the crowd because eagles don't walk like chicken. And they still have company up here. So you don't have to stay on the chicken level. Right, Jules? You model what you feel and how much you have accepted yourself with all your flaws, with everything. And you push forward and you leave the noise behind. You leave the noise behind. Because not every laugh is a good laugh. And one of the things, and help me here. Let me see what Ross says. Our mind is a very powerful tool to help us process our beliefs. Oh, yes. But also remember, people can play with your mind if you're not strong. If you don't know what you believe in, and if it's so important for you to be accepted by a group, by a friend, by an organization, by anybody. So, do you see what's going on today? Some of the smartest people are doing some things now that you wonder, what? What? Have you ever seen somebody does something and you say to yourself, I know that person. How did they get caught up with that? Education is a wonderful thing. I believe in it. I'm an educator. I believe in education. A child of God who is educated is a powerful force. Not to say if you're not educated, you can't be powerful. But what I'm saying is there are certain tables that you are able to sit at and influence because of. Okay? Yes, people's mind can be influenced. Look at what is going on in our world. Look at the political arena. Look at the religious arena. Look at our own YouTube arena. Those of us who we have content providers here, and then you have people like me who are working to get there. Look at all the friction and all the yang, yang, yang. Because somebody somewhere told someone that they weren't good enough. So every little thing that is thrown at them, they take it up and make it into this big thing. I think Julie was talking about it the other day on her channel. That is not all the time we want to go around people that are just complaining, complaining, complaining all the time. Not all the time. It's not all the time you want to turn on someone's channel, and Jules said it, and all you hear is what people have done to them and who's doing this and who's doing that. So what I'm saying is, like Julie says, when you're easily influenced, you're very unhappy. You're very unhappy. You're very unhappy. You're very unhappy. And one of the things that I'm learning is that when we try to seek validation from people instead of from God, and we try to seek it from the wrong source. Yes, Roy, stay focused. Stay focused on what we believe and who we believe in. Stay focused in who we are and whose we are. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Last week we spoke about nobody has your genetic makeup, Jules. Somebody might name Joy. Somebody might name Joy, but nobody has your genetic identity. So therefore, you are special. And you've said it over and over. You claim that right through your life. I felt special to me, but there are times in my life that I didn't feel that I was special to a certain group or a certain sector. Yes. Yes. Especially when I tell people divorce is worse than death. If you take marriage seriously and you have to walk out of a marriage, that is the worst experience of a lifetime. When a person is dead, you can say, I love them, I did my best for them, and at least they're at peace. The pain is over, the illness is over. But when you get a divorce after 20, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9 years, 10 years, 5 years, 4 years, whatever amount of time, the more you spend in it, the more it hurts. It seems now that, people are getting divorced and remarry faster than I'm buying the shoes. But divorce is the thing that can crush you because it leaves you asking the question, why weren't I good enough? Relationships that you have invested in. And it doesn't matter what you do. The person cannot see your worthiness in the relationship except in their eyes, how they see it. Exactly, Jules. Surrounding ourselves with people who does not have our same vision, who does not have our same interests. It's hard, It's hard. And you do it and then you wake up. And that's what she's talking about. The moment you learn and believe that you are enough, it changes everything. You sleep better at night. You have less headache. You lose the weight faster because you're not stress eating, because you have accepted that I am enough for me. And it takes some people. It takes a while. Others can do it right away. Desi Food, welcome. How are you? Thank you for coming, and thank you for your thumb. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. We're discussing worthiness, accepting who we are authentically from God. Um, those of us who are working on accepting it, because life throws so much of us, we doubted ourselves, but we're working on reassessing and realizing that we're God's handmaid, so therefore we're worthy. And when we are doing the work, people who does not accept you, when change comes, they don't move with the change. They're always talking about what you did. Anybody have experienced that? Oh, you did this and you were this. You used to smoke. You were fat. You used to talk. You used to this. Has anybody ever experienced that? As Julie said, surrounding ourselves with like minded people, surrounding ourselves with people who are moving forward makes all the difference in the world. And sometimes you have to pull away. Sometimes you have to pull away from certain things to reassess who we are. Yes, sometimes we have. And look, doing it is biblical. Doing it is biblical. Because what God says, come as you are. Come as you are. I hear people use this a lot in church when it comes on to sloppy dressing and coming to church that you just roll out of bed. And I'm supposed to ask you've been in church 40, 50 years. And you come to church like you just roll out of bed. I'm not telling you to go and buy Louis Vuitton or nothing, but put yourself together. Cover up yourself. And if someone talks about it, they said the Bible said to come as you are. The Bible said to come as you are, but guess what he does? He called fools, but he doesn't keep them. He sends his Holy Spirit if you're willing to accept his Holy Spirit to guide you. And then you have the church to help you to grow and to evolve and to change into who God wants you to be. So here is the next question she asks. Here's the next one. The next statement she makes. Anybody understands what this word cancel culture means? Anybody can give me? The term cancel culture, what does it mean? How do you understand that term? Cancel culture. Jules, are you still here? How do you understand that term, cancel culture? Raw, Jay Brown, are you still here? How do you understand the term cancel culture? What does the term cancel culture mean to you? That is the question she's asking. That's the question I'm asking because she made a statement and I want to read the statement, but I'd like you guys to explain what does it mean, or have you heard of the term cancel culture? What is going on here? You have never heard of it? Okay, Starkey. Yes, Raw, the Bible did say that. But Raw, have you ever heard of the term cancel culture? Okay. So this term cancel culture started a couple years back. And what that simply means, and if you watch the news, especially that's where you see the most example of it. What we understand as normal can no longer be voiced in certain arena because it's not politically correct. So if you believe that the cat is brown and the other side doesn't believe that, especially on a job, and this is where it's most effective. On the job, you cannot discuss certain things. Yeah, on the terminology that is used for people who discuss what they believe in and stand up for what they believe in certain environments, on the job, in churches, schools. If they said the cat is red, you have to go along with it if you want to keep your job, if you want to maintain your culture. If you look at CNN, CNN has lost some of its best news reporters. And it's because the individual stood up for what they know is right, that in 1998, 1999, you couldn't do this and get away with it. But in this 2024, you cannot stand up for anything that we used to stand up for back then because they cancel you, meaning you lose your job. You don't have a voice unless you revoice yourself. Work for yourself. If you have a bakery and you decide that you're only selling to pink dolls and somebody report it, your bakery is either sued or shut down. That's what they mean by cancel culture. You cannot say anything. Hi, Visray, how are you? Thanks for coming, thanks for coming, thanks for coming, thanks for coming. Welcome, welcome. We're doing a book review on the book Worthy. We're in the middle of it. So that's what it means by cancel culture, Roy, that you can no longer stand up for what is right. What we were able to live by and stand by, we have to keep it quiet. We cannot voice it in certain arenas. Otherwise, you lose your job. You lose your position. You lose in some circles, respect. Because you're judgmental, you're biased, you're racist. Everything that we believe to be norm is being challenged now. And if you speak up about it, you're canceled. Meaning you're blocked from getting good. Hi, Travel. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming. So you're canceled. So the reason why they coined the phrase cancel culture, because it's a culture that is being ripped away from us. That we have to either don't say nothing or go along with it. And that's what Jules was saying. Jules was saying one of the things that will help us is not to be easily influenced. And you were saying the same thing. Raw, you were saying to know who we are. And even in knowing who we are, Roy, we have to be careful how we manifest that. We have to be careful how we manifest that. So even, and think about it now that I've explained what that means. Have you ever been in your same friend group and you say certain things and they go, no, man, we're not travel. We're not gonna use those semantic and cultural statements. We're not, because we don't want to. I understand what you're saying. I understand, but I'm not from Africa, so nobody can tell me to go back to Africa because I'm not from there. I visited there, loved the place, but I'm not from Africa. I'm a black woman. See? But that's another chapter. So that's what it means by culture. We almost suffocate who we are to be accepted. But the moment we recognize that I don't have to live like this, I don't have to be around people that don't appreciate me. And we can feel that. We can feel it. You can be in a crowd and all the snickers is going on and you're right there and everybody's whispering. Then you pull yourself out of that. Because if you can't talk when I'm around, then why am I here? So those are the little things. Those are the little things that helps us to build our worthiness, is to acknowledge the spaces that we're in, the conversations that we're having, and if it's not something I align myself with, well, I rather walk away and be alone than stay with it just to be in your midst. Okay, Roy. She made another statement. She says, in life, we don't get what we want. We get what we believe we're worthy of. How do you understand that? In life, we don't get what we want. We get what we believe we're worthy of. What is a good example of that, Roa? What is and Joyful and the rest of you? What is a good example of that? We don't get what we want. We get what we believe we're worth. Stacky, what is a good example of that? Travel, in life, we don't get what we want, we get what we believe we want. How would you explain that? And can you give an example why you think the writer might say that? Well, yes, that's the answer. That's the number one answer. That's why I call you and Jules. And I know others would come up with other answers. Or pay. Explain that, Roa. Explain that to me. Explain that for me. Desi, we will do that. Okay? Explain, Roy. Roy, explain that. Jews explain that. Travel explain that. Our pay. In life, you don't get what you want. You get what you believe you're worthy of. Someone says an example is our pay. In life, we don't get what we want. We believe we get what we believe. Sorry. In life, we don't get what we want. We get what we believe. Roy say, when I ask for an example to that statement, Roy says, or pay. Or pay. So I would like someone to explain to me, why is our pay such a good example of this? Wages, yeah, pay, wages, paycheck, yes. And why travel? Why is that? Okay, Des, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Desi. Why is our paycheck? Okay, so let me think out loud for you guys. You go in for the job, you have the skills, you have the experience, you have worked for a while in the field, so you're comfortable in it. And then when you go to sit with the interviewer to talk about pay, and they give us a scale, and I've seen this happen so many times. Our pay scale is from $10 to $25. Guess where most people stop? The pay scale is $10 to $25. Guess where most people stop? Where do you think most people stop? Where do you think most people stop? The pay is from $10 to $25. What do you think most people accept? Most people will ask for the 10. Others will ask for 12. Some will always also ask for 15. Someone might ask for 18. And then they stop right there. Why? Because if I ask for more, I might not get the job. You see where our belief system can work against us? Yes, Roa. That's what I'm talking about. They give us a pay scale. We start from $10 to $25 an hour. What would you accept? Most people come in 12, 15, 18, and they stop right there. When they know that they're worthy of more, but because of what they've been constantly told, that you can't demand this, and you can't do this, and you can't say that, they stop before they even get to the middle. And then 3 months, 3 weeks down say a month down the line, when they start to collect the paycheck, oh, I'm not making enough money for this, for all the work I'm doing. I'm not, but they forget that you agreed to it. You agreed to it. They gave you a pay scale and you agreed to it because of all the stuff that's been taught to you and all the stuff you believe that you're not worthy enough to speak up, even though you have the opportunity to get exactly what you deserve. That's not the system, that's us. That's in that case, it's not the system. Because remember, we're given a pay scale from 0 to $25. We are the one that stops at 18. Most people don't even ask for 20, much less 22, 23, or 24.50. And then another set don't even touch the 25. So that's not the system. That's our belief and all the things we are told. All the things that we're told that we're not supposed to ask for more, because you might lose the job if you ask for more. When if you have the faith in God and you have the faith in yourself, that even if I get turned down, mindset, that's it. Not system, but mindset or belief system, what we are told, what we have been fed so much that we end up believing that we're not worthy. And then when the other person asks for the 24.50 or 25, then we start complaining, man, I got the job the same time as she and she's making $25. Well, you are the one that deal yourself out of a good paycheck. And it's not a blame. It's just the way sometimes we're programmed. It's just the way we're programmed. We work in a group. We have a task to work on. We have 5 people in the group. And if you have ever done group work, this is the most annoying part of college for me. This was the most annoying part of college for me. Whenever I have group assignments, I just look at who they give me, and I know I'm carrying this one by myself. Because in college, group assignments, and on some jobs, group assignments is you get the same credit, because the assignment is tasked to 4 people or 5 people. So you're coming in as the group. You're not coming in as yourself. You're coming in to represent the group. And when the research is being done, or when the task is being done, 2 or 3 people just lay back. If you have a meeting to talk about the steps that you're going to use to get to the goal, they're the last one coming in. Yes, yes, yes. Settling for less is constant. It's a constant habit with some, not all, with some people. There are those that have woken years ago to realize, I am worthy of this salary. I'm going to ask for this salary. And if I don't get this job, I will have the faith to know I'll get the next one. But this is what I'm worth, and this is what I'm going to ask for. Because when a job gives you a pay scale, don't say to them, whatever you're paying. No, they're going to give you the lowest hourly wage or yearly wage, because they're saying to themselves, here it is, I give you a whole pay scale and you're telling me whatever I pay. So this is what I pay. I will pay $1 a year because I want to save my money. And when we look back, when we talked about last week about our culture, the way we were reared, the stuff we go through in life, that dips across in our life that cause us to lose out on things that are there for us, but because we're so okay, Travel, I got it. I understand. Yes, I understand now. Thanks for coming, guys. For those of you who are in the foyer. Thanks for coming. Thumbs up the live, guys. Thumbs up the live. Help us to get to, we're at 9 now. The goal was to get to 10 before an hour. The goal is to get to 10 before an hour. And thanks for your participation. Thanks so much for your participation. And your time is very valuable to me. Topics like these don't get a crowd. But I'm just the fact that you guys are here, I'm comfortable. And I'm happy that you decide to share your Saturday night with me. So I'm grateful. Oh, thank you, Watch Queen. Thank you. See, I never see the correct time, the correct one. So our goal is to get to 15. We're doing good. Keep tapping, guys. Keep tapping. So here is the other thing she spoke about. And as we said, it's not only. Okay, Travel. I'll join you over there. It's not only in finances, you know, that we give up. It's not only in finances that we don't get what we want, but we get what we believe we want. It's not only in finances. Yes, they will start you at the lowest possible rate. When you turn to an interview and says, and you give your pay scale, 0 to 25, this is what we pay. And then you turn around and say to them, because you, with all the experience you're coming with, you still don't believe your worth. So then you settle at $12 an hour and they pay it. And 3 weeks you start to complain about you doing too much for $12 when you made the decision for the $12. But it's not only with work that we do that. She says we do it in our life. And how do we do it in our life? An example of how we do it in our life. So we had one example, respect. We have one example of our paycheck. Now we have a second example, respect. And why do you think respect is a part of not accepting what we're worth, but what we want, but what we are worth? How did she coin it? We get what we want instead of what we're worth. How would you say that when we think about respect? How would we say that we don't get what we want, but we get what we're worth? What we believe we're worth? How does respect play in that one? And can you give an example when we talk about respect? An example of what we talked about respect. Someone disrespects you in a meeting, in a group, in a class, and you say nothing. And you say nothing because, and this is another phrase that I wish I don't like either. You must become the bigger person. My head should be pushing through my roof. I've become so many big persons in so many situations where I should have spoken up for myself and spoken up and say, you do not speak to me like that. We don't speak up. And we walk away bruised. We walked away bruised. A spouse, a family, a friend. We don't tell them the way you speak to me is unacceptable. We just walk away because we are the bigger person. So we don't stand up. I'm not saying to fight, because fighting is not the definition of maintaining or protecting a self-worth. Cursing and ripping every cloth in the fabric store. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pulling the person one side. And again, as I said, those of us who has maintained our self-worth all through our life, I lift my cap to you. But it is only recently, within the last year, that I looked at myself and says, I don't like the way I'm presented in this situation or this group or this here or there. And I decide no more. No more. I'm not putting up with it. And it doesn't mean that we have to cuss and fight. It's a learning process. Freshlings, how are you? So happy to have you. How are you? Freshlings, we're talking about self-worth. We're talking about all the things we have been taught in our cultures, all the things we have been taught in our relationship, all the experiences we go through that let us give up on ourselves. And when we have acknowledged that I am fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and I am worthy of entering the room, I'm worthy of speaking in the room, I'm worthy as respect, as someone pointed out. And when things happen to us, we stand up and say, I will not accept this behavior. I will not accept being spoken to like this. There's a freedom that comes with it. Okay, let's go on to what she said in the next one. Oh, so this is what I'm saying. And it has happened to all of us. I've had people disrespect me, and they do it so coy. And I feel the disrespect. And I say nothing. Because I'm the bigger person. That's what we're told, right? To be the bigger person. Some of us might be 11 feet tall right now. To be the bigger person. Everything. Be the bigger person. When are you going to be you? The person God wants you to be. So we talk about accepting. We don't accept what we want. We accept what we believe we're worth. We talk about it when it comes on to salaries. We talk about it when it comes on to respectability, people respecting us. Now the next one, which is the second to hardest one, friendship. How much of ourselves have we given up to be in this friend group or be this person's friend? How much of ourselves have we given up? Fresh Link is saying, highborn child of God. Fresh Link is sending greetings to child of God. So friendship, in a friendship group, Fresh Link, is there a friendship group that, or a person, marriage, that's the last one. I remember I told you this friendship group is the hardest next to the one that's coming. So we're talking about friendship group right now. What is Fresh Links, is there a person or a group that you maintained even though it's not working for you, but you maintain the relationship? Rawborn, can you think? And we're going to get to marriage next because that's the last one on her list. Can you think of a time with a friend or a group? Rawborn is greeting Fresh Links. Can you think of a time with a friend or a group that you just put up because you want to be around them? Go ahead, Travel. Give me tell me some of the things you put up with to maintain that. Some of the things you put up with to maintain that group. Examples of some of the things that you put up with to maintain a friendship in a group or in an individual. You tolerate them, yes? You tolerate them. Why? Why do you tolerate them even though you know this is not for me? Why do you? Why do you? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? The big one is to feel accepted, right? The big one is to feel accepted. The big one is to feel accepted. There might be a member in that group that you want to be a part of, but without the group, you don't have connection with the person. It might be, and that's for the other one, right? It might be because they were childhood friends. Yes. Someone says, Watch Queen says, respect also is called esteem. It is a positive feeling or a differential action shown towards someone or something important or held in high esteem. That's funny. Roy said he does not maintain friendships to be a part of a group. Check out my name, Roy. Yes, Queen. Respect is also reciprocal. Respect is earned. I'm not just going to respect you because you are a woman or because you have red hair or blue hair. It's earned. I respect you because of what you stand for, your principles. There's something about you that align with me. Not to say I'm going to disrespect you, but what I'm saying is that I'm not going to let you walk over me because you think you're powerful. Because you're my supervisor, you're going to come in and speak to me any way you choose. No. It's earned. Okay, I love my men. This is why I love my men so much. Thank you for participating. Freshling says, He don't tolerate foolishness to be with no one. And isn't that maturity? I can say that now. But back in the days, because listen, rejection is one of the biggest reason we accept certain things, you know. Because we're either rejected by our mother or father or auntie or uncle. The group, okay, Travis, see you soon. The group that is seem to be mostly affected by this is kids that were abandoned at birth. I wasn't good enough, so she gave me up. Can you imagine the challenge they have to trust? The challenge they have to believe that they're worthy. And then they line up in abusive relationships. Because the first person that comes along and tell them that they care or show them that they care, they latch onto that person. And abuse doesn't happen overnight. First, you have to build up the trust of the person, get their confidence, and then you start to prune them. So you see how that flows in every section and every facet of our life. The things that happen to us at birth, after divorce, after broken relationship. Someone said the other day that somebody told them, I think I saw it in one of those social media platform. Somebody told them that they're nobody will want them, so they can't leave. That's one of those narcissistic behaviors. Nobody will want you, so you can't leave me. So they tie the person with them. And it takes so much. People will see people going through abuse and say, why don't they leave? You think it's easy? They have been brainwashed. They have been molded into believing this person, that they can't do without them. In some of the cases, they're not able to work because they want them to be so dependent on them. So if a person who has not worked in a relationship and is being abused, has depended on the abuser for everything, you think it's easy to walk away? That's why when I see people judge them, I just pray for them. That's the hardest situation to leave. It's not because the person don't want to leave, the psychological enslavement that comes with that. So when you've gone through all of that now, and you're able to bloom out of that and realize that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And yes, you might not like me because the dress I wear. You might not like me because I'm fat. You might not like me because. But guess what? I'm loved by God. It takes time. It takes maturity. It takes spiritual discernment. And it takes a commitment to God after you have gone through all that to lift yourself out of it. And it takes a support system. So then the next one is marriage. Oh, no, I'm not, Thank you, Fresh. No, I'm not. Thank you so much. Watch Green says she walks away. But Watch Green, how many times are we going to walk away? How many times are we going to walk away? If you have the same person or the same supervisor or the same friend that comes up to you, and every time you're in their presence, they either dismiss you or belittle you, at what point do you stop walking away and stand up? Because that's claiming or authentic worthiness that God gives us. How many times are we going to walk away? Because I've been there. I've walked away so much I have a footprint everywhere. But then I decided, enough. I'm not walking away anymore. I'm going to face you. And I'm not saying with aggression. I'm just going to let you, the next time I'm not even going to come to you and say, you did this for the last, this. No, I'm going to wait for an opportunity for you to do it again. And then I'm going to say to you, I will not accept this from you. I will not accept this from you. Because think of it, life is hard, you know. Life is lifing. And the lifingness is hard. So the more we can separate from some of the unnecessary stresses in our life, it's the better we will be. We talked about when we first started. Becoming who God wants us to be so that we can be a better person for someone else. Because you see, if the goal is for me to find my self-worth and no, it's not for me alone. It's for me to be a better person to the next person I meet. So how many times am I going to get beat down from you, dismissed from you, talk over from you, challenge everything I say? How much time am I going to take that? At some point, and it takes maturity, it takes growth, it takes consciousness of being intentional with your life. And that's why I started it. I decided I'm going to be intentional about my life. I'm going to be intentional about how I live my life. One of the things I coined for myself is I can change my mind 10 times for the day if I want to. I am 64 plus, pretty years old, can't wait to be 65 next year. So I think I earn changing my mind. If I say I'm going shopping and I decide I'm not going nowhere, and I told you I was going and you call me and say, hey, what store are you in? And I said, I'm actually home. I thought you said you're going shopping. Well, I changed my mind. I'm the change my mind person now. I own that store. I change my mind. As long as it's not going to affect someone else or affect anything or in my life negatively, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind. If I don't feel like washing my dishes, I pack them in the sink and go to bed. It doesn't mean I'm nasty. It just means I'm not washing them tonight. These are some of the things that are poor on us. Starlink India, welcome, welcome. So nice to see you. So nice to see you. Guys, we're trying to get to 20 likes. Queen, can you tell me how much I have? We're trying to get to 20 likes in the next half an hour. We're trying to get to 20. It's a holiday. Oh, I see. Okay, Holiday. Thanks for reminding me. Because I'm saying this person and I have connected before. Yes. Thank you, Starlight. So you see what I'm saying, Queen? At what time do you stop walking away and stand in your purpose? I'm not saying to go around every minute defending. Thank you, Watch. I'm not saying to go around defending yourself every second somebody say to you, oh, you're not going to talk to me like that. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not. Yes, I see that in your other one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. You see what I'm saying? The other one, not accepting what we want, but getting what we are worthy of. In life, you do not get what you want. You get what you believe you're worthy of. Someone said the next one is marriage. The next one, and in some cases it's true. What is one of the things society tells us, especially as women? If you get to 22 and you're not married, something is wrong with you. If you get to 30 and you're not married, you're close to death's door. Forget about 35, 40. Then something is wrong with you. Those are the things that pushes us down. And we talked about it last week. You get engaged. Everybody, you're not getting married. You're not getting married. You're not getting married. I didn't know she would repeat this in this one. You're not getting married. You're not getting married. And you get engaged. And the next thing is when you're getting married. And then you get married when you're going to have a baby. You see the amount of stuff that pushes us down? And then there's the other part where I have to get married because my clock is ticking. So instead of looking for a life, well, maybe not even the Bible says until death, but Jesus knows death comes fast sometimes, psychologically and emotionally. But we look for a person for the now, forgetting that is marriage we're going into. I want to get married now. So we take up a pants instead of a man. We don't pray for what we want. We see John, and John looked good. And this thing about tall, dark, handsome, this, that, the other. What if he's tall, dark, and handsome and has no morals? Has no morals. What if she is the size of a Coca-Cola, the shape of a Coca-Cola bottle? You can buy that now. You can buy that now. You know, the other day I was talking to a friend and I said to him, if your wife come home looking like one of these posters on the cosmetic surgery catalog, and I think I asked a brother of mine that once too, how would you deal with that? How would you deal with that? You marry her because you like her flat nose. You like the way she smiles. You like the little that she has and the little that she has. Or you like the flat tummy and the flat bum. And then all of a sudden you go to work and you come home. Exactly. Raw. You go to work and you come home. Or this person tell you they're going away for 6 weeks and they come back. And you come home and you walk into your house. And you see this person. And when they open their mouth, it's your wife. How does men deal with that? Yes, Watch Queen. That Rose said, nobody looks for who is compatible. Watch Queen is saying, and most marriages don't last because they look for handsome and beautiful. And I'm not, don't get me wrong now, you know. Because you all know I love to balance things. I don't want poor and broke at the same time. So I'm not asking you to do that. I must be able to look at you without the lights on. Try to see a glimmer of you. You can't fit into the darkness. When you smile, there must be something that tells me it's you. You can't have no teeth and you're dark. So when you smile, I can't see anything. So I'm being, you know, I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is there's so much women and men in our churches, in our circle, that we bypass because we're looking for. And some of you talk about they want women that shape like Coca-Cola. If you see them, they shape like a breadfruit tree. And we must accept them. So, as I was saying, without cosmetic surgery and all these enhancement, what makes people? I could see if you go and you, Raw, I love you. I'm gonna 1 minute, Raw, 1 minute. You know, if people get a little touch up here and there, I don't have a problem with it. That's your life, do you? But you change your entire face, and the man walk in the house, And until you open your mouth, he thought you were the housekeeper. Because this is not the woman he left home. Ross said he would ask her, where's my wife? I don't blame you. And then, couple days down the road, you see on the news, this one is divorcing. When you're attracted to someone, men, help me. Watch Queen too. All the ladies here, you can help me too. When you are attracted to someone, thank you for coming back, Helen. Thank you. I had to go on my phone because I could not get the system working. Every so often, the system gives me a hard time. Thank you for coming back. See? So you walk into the house, and everything about her has changed except her voice. Until she opened her mouth. You didn't know it was your wife. Ross said he asked her for his wife. Yes, I did. Thank you so much, Helen. You see? So what caused people? Because men are putting in pecs, men are putting in jawbones, men are putting in six-pack. Listen, let me tell you, I am so sorry for young people who are getting married. You better do a strip search. Because you're getting tall, dark, and handsome. But wait until you take off your clothes and he tell you, don't touch me too much. And she tell you, don't touch me too much. Oh, my hair. What caused a woman, let me focus on woman for a minute, a woman to change every feature of her body that God makes her with, and that a man marry? Because when I meet a man, I know what I'm looking for. And the features and the character line up together for me. So your character make you more handsome to me. And then the man marry me because he loved my flat nose. He loves all the little things he loves about me. And then he comes home and I have this big basketball in front of me. And then I got thunder behind me. What makes somebody disfigure their body like that? Discoloration of the skin. Last week you were white. Last week you're black. This week you're white. It's because of all the things that we're told. Or flat nose is not good enough. Our perky lips. But listen, everybody's buying the perky lips now. So nobody's bothering people with perky lips anymore because everybody look like somebody punched them in their mouth. Everybody's looking like somebody punched them in your mouth. Don't you all see it all over the media? Everybody's looking like somebody punched them in their mouth. Everybody, some people, they can't even breathe because the reason why God made my nose so straight is because I need all that to breathe out. Raw. Not all raw. Rosa doesn't have any luck with pretty women because some of them are unstable. Oh, Ross, so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. But if their character is pretty and their heart looms beauty, you know. So can you imagine, in order for a woman to split up her body, turn it into something that God didn't make, because she feels that's the only way I will be respected. So we don't get what we want, we get what we think we are worth. That is powerful. Because if I think I'm worth you stepping over me, disrespecting me, then of course I'm going to end up disfiguring myself. Okay, Someone says they go for the heart and not for the looks. So explain that to me. How do you go for the heart? How do you go for the heart and not the looks? Is looks important at all to you, or just their heart? So how do you know, or let me say, how would you figure out if you meet someone, you're looking for a partner, a companion? I'm not talking about a 6 month a 6 months trial. You're looking for a partner. How would you say, okay, give me an example of saying that you look for the heart? What is that thing, if you will, that you look for, that you know it's a hard thing? How do you look at a person's heart? What are the things you look for that you say, okay, this is a heart. This is a person with a good heart. So what comes to mind is a caring person, a person who loves humanity. Is that what you're thinking, Queen? A person who loves humanity, a person who respects and loves God, have a relationship with God, not just go to church. Going to church don't mean you have a relationship with God. It just means you're going to church. But have a relationship with God. Are those characteristic of loving the heart and not the features? And then if you get the features with the heart, then you know there's some compatibility there. Is that what you're thinking? Raw, how do you know? How can you, what is the example of knowing, loving a person's heart? What is, when we say we love a person's heart, what are some of the examples? Yes, okay. So their love for God, love for humanity, commitment to life. Okay, yes, I could see that. Yes, I could see that. I could see that. And as we get older, as we get older, we tend to go for that, don't we, Queen? We tend to go for that. Watch. As we get older, we tend. But when we're young, society tells us that he must be tall. He must come with a house on his head, the money on one shoulder, and he must have the career on the other. No, the house on the head, the money on one shoulder, and the car on the other one, and then his hands all stretched open to love you. That's how we're taught when we are young, right? But as we get older, it shifts for us. We want a person who is committed, in a committed relationship with God. That's what we should want as young people, but that's not where we go. So that's what she talks about. These are the areas that we give up the things that we want. We give up the things that we want in these areas by taking the things that society says this is what you do when you're getting married. This is how you walk when you're getting married. let me see if I understand what you're saying, Ro. So how she's going to look when she gets older with all the body work. Oh, I thought he said body work. She has that is the thing. It's the ugly sight, man. Working at a hospital and see these people after. Let me tell you something. I had an experience where I met this person and I was working with the person. Face is flawless. Flawless. Stand up like a rock. Nothing moves. And when the person undressed, I'm like, what? This woman is this old? That's what we're seeing now out here. That's what we're seeing. I'm like, what? And I just have to block it out and said, okay, focus on the face. Focus on the face. Because the face and the body doesn't match. The things that under the clothes, the wrinkles and all that, doesn't match the face. So those are ways we use all these things to comfort ourselves because we're so unhappy from being rejected, from being dismissed, from being not accepted, from being disrespected, from being muzzled. I heard someone said recently, and I had to really stop and think twice. There are people in the church that you don't love, but you don't like, but you have to love them anyway. What? There are people in the church that you don't like, but you have to love them every way. That's an oxymoron. How do you like somebody? Or do you love somebody you don't like? Because what keeps love is the fact that you like the person. So because you like the person, that you like remember I didn't say love now, I say like. You like that person. You like the little innuendos. You love when they get a little out of character because that's not how that person is. But you dislike somebody because, and then you're gonna say because you're in the church you have to love them. You dislike the person, but I gotta love them. What? And these are the things we do and say that makes people forget that they're made by a God who loves them. Let's see what she says now, and we're going to end soon. We are going to end in 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to go over. So after you have accepted, and you have reassessed your life, and again, this takes a consciousness of being the authentic person God wants you to be. It takes a consciousness of living intentionally. Doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes, because whole habits are hard to break if you're not intentionally about breaking them. You will slip back into these modes, but slipping back doesn't mean it's a failure. It means try again. Okay, Ro. We are going to go back, in trying to accept ourselves the way God wants us to. in trying to lean in more on God than leaning on people, so we're hurt all the time, we're gonna slip up. We're gonna slip up, but keep going. Some people have very good art. They might not have compatibility, maturity with lots. Could go. They might have some people have very good heart, but they might not have a compatible mature with you. Lots could go wrong and lots could go right, depending on. Oh, I see what you're saying. What you're saying is that even when you're what here's how I'm interpreting it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Conversation with Elise. So happy you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you. I appreciate your presence. We are in the last throes of our second chapter of our book that we're reading, Worthy. It's on my community page. Those of us who able to purchase it. Otherwise, someone suggested, and I think it was Watch Queen, someone suggested that I do it the way I'm doing it tonight. I have read it and I've come very comfortable in understanding what she's trying to say. So we are discussing it and I'm reading extract from what she wrote and then we're discussing it together. So feel free, the questions that are asked, especially, man, you missed the last one about marriage and how do you cope with all the incompatibilityness that is going on, all the changes that is going on in marriage. I think you guys addressed that in one of your thing too, being present and being intentional in marriage. Oh, I wish you had come on earlier. I would have really loved to hear your input on this one. So now that we have decided that enough is enough, I'm tired of being walked over, I'm tired of being dismissed, I am just tired of being tired. And we have come to the knowledge that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, flawless, broken, weak, but we are still sinners saved by grace. And we are going to be intentional about changing the way we do life from an individual perspective, because the only person I can change is me. And as Joyful said earlier, when we do the work on us, we will turn out to be examples for others. Because in trying to change the things that are negative in my life, you don't know the purse God and I are having. You don't know the back and forth that God and I are having to change this in me that annoys someone. I told somebody once, if you see, don't you think I know? So pray for me instead of criticizing me, because what you're seeing is what I'm struggling with my Jesus. Because what it says, the things that we fear the most come upon us. I don't like to go out of character. Exactly, Queen. I don't like to go out of character. But there are certain experiences in my life and certain traumas in my life that triggers me. And it took a good friend, someone that loves me unconditionally, and sat me down one day and said, this behavior is not you. The you that I know, I want everybody to see her. And I don't like when you're like this. A few weeks after, I was thinking about it. I cannot continue like this. And that's when I started to do the work. Because what you think you have on me is what I'm on my knees with my Jesus. So you ain't got nothing on me, honey. Thank you, Queen. Okay, guys, get me up to 20. Get me up to 20, guys. Get me to 20. We're at 15. I need 20 likes before the next 15 minutes. that is what you call faith. 20 likes. Okay, guys? So know that we have decided to work on the things or that thing. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about thorn in the flesh. And a lot of people attribute that to sexuality. A lot of people attribute it to fornication, adultery. Maybe for some people, but not for all. Thorn in the flesh can be anything you're working on consistently, frequently with Jesus. And you think it's taking too long to change, but God is saying in my time. So now that we have worked through that, we cannot be perfect because we are imperfect being. But when we recognize the areas that we can change to bring others closer to God, because that's what it's all about, It's not for people to love me, It's for people to see a little bit of Jesus with me, a little bit of Jesus in me, in any situation. Pastor said it today, and I tell you, right then and there, I had to take a serious inventory of my refrigerator. He said that sometimes the best dressed people in church are far from God. Far from God. He said sometimes we're hiding behind the baggage. Yes, conversations. We are all. And here is the piece that I am learning. The people that find the faults, honey, I'm working on them. But I'm not going to tell you. Continue. I am working on them. And that's all you can stay on. All you can find is that. I'm working on it. And I said it before, and for those who just came in, there are some folk in life, family, friend, co-workers, church members, that will never see your growth. Because in seeing your growth, it diminishes them to look at themselves, and they don't want to do that. So in order for them to keep on their pedestal with the emotional things that they're throwing at you, they can't see the change that's happening in you. They'll sit right beside you day after day, week after week, and they don't see the change. And if I'm lying, tell me if nobody has experienced this. And you go in the supermarket, or you walk down the street, or you're at the gas station, and somebody who you have not seen for the longest time said to you, oh my God, you look good, and you look so peaceful. Has anybody ever experienced that? Yeah, preach. So let me read what Roy says, conversation, and then boy, that's powerful. Roy says years ago he had to leave a woman because he knew she wasn't going to work out. And she said he's losing a good thing, but he didn't stay around to figure out if it was going to be a good thing. Conversation with Elise says some of the things that we are working on, those are the things that keep us close to God. And it's true. Can you believe if God made me so perfect that everybody loved me? I wouldn't have any need to pray. Can you believe if God let me never lose a job in my entire career life, 40 something career life? I started at what, 18? If I never lost a job, how would I grow? How would I excel? How would I know that I've been on this job for 5 years, pushing this pencil holder, and everybody's coming moving ahead of me? Instead of throwing a pity party, or instead of sitting down and saying who they think they are, take my time and find out, why did they get that have been here for so long? Why did they get advancement before me? Boom, I don't have the certification. Boom, I don't have the newest thing in my repertoire bank of serving the company. The company is growing. See, Bago? Here's what I'm going to ask you. If you want to stay in this palace, I'm going to ask you right now to quit. Okay? If you're going to come here and just enjoy the environment and participate in a positive way, you are welcome. If you're going to come here to disrupt, I'm going to kindly ask you to exit my platform. Thank you. So what was I saying? They will never. Okay, now I get it. So instead of focusing on the person, why they get the job, that find out why in a different way. The company is growing. They are no longer sharpening pencil manually. They are using electric sharpener. Do I have the skills to do an electric sharpener? I'm going to take a little course on the computer. I'm going to take a little course somewhere so you can line yourself up. And the more focus we put on others is the less time we have to take an inventory of our behavior, our life, and what makes us so miserable. Have you ever been at work? There was this girl at work, I will never forget her. And I've left that job now for quite a few years. I'll never forget her. Every shift, she reminded that she's there for 35 years. Every shift. Every business meeting we have. And she doesn't agree with something. Well, I've been here for 35 years and I've never seen it done that way. And if you know me, you know what I said to her. I can see that. Because if I'm in a company for 35 years, honey, I have some supervisory position in that company. Or I have a position that can show my growth. But I'm not coming in as a pencil holder. And isn't that the same way we behave in church? Abba, welcome. Welcome, Habib. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. So happy to have you. Isn't it the same way we behave in church? The pastors are pushing people to get baptized. And we're pushing to tell them how long we've been in church. Some of us even have an assigned seat. Some of us even have an assigned. The poor new members don't even know that your birthright was carved into that bench when that church was built. And the poor person coming to church and just sit at the seat. And they get to church at 9:30. Go through Bible class and they're comfortable with where they are because they can see the pastor, they can see the participant, and you walk in at 11:30 and tell them move over. And when the person look, I was supposed to do something about that on my life, you know. And when the person look at you in bewilderment, move over, honey. I've been here for 40 years. This is my seat. We see in every facet of our life, the unworthiness creeps up. No growth. No growth. The bench was so glad to have another person sitting on it. That corner that you sat on for 35 years, the poor bench was so glad. Oh my goodness, this person is a little lighter. This person is a little, oh, this one is a little heavier. Yeah, I got a new visitor. And that's how we treat people. Conversation, stop reading my mind, girl, you in my head. Conversation says some ministers are like that too. They don't want, well, you see, my church is different. My organization is different. We're Adventists. And pastors know from they're in high school. If someone in high school wants to be a pastor, they know in our organization that your birth certificate is not going to be imprinted on the wall of the church. Your birth certificate is not printing on that rostrum, because our church is a movement. They move pastors around 3-4 years. There are some pastors only stay in one place 2 years and then they move them to another church, bring new people in. And at first I didn't like it because, you get attached to your pastor's wife and you get attached to your pastor and then he's gone. But I get it. I get it. There's no ownership in the kingdom of God except owning God. And we do the same thing everywhere we go. That was a good point conversation. That's why I don't do these one minister's church, I don't do them. I couldn't be anything but an Adventist. I couldn't. With all the flack that we get from the world, it just makes us more stronger pushing on for kingdom. Because I could never be in a one-man church. Because here is this. I am not going out there and work and give you 10% of my income. I'm not doing it. When I give back my tithes, it goes to the world office. And it's given on missionary trips. It's given to help hospital. It's given to help the poor in Uganda and India and Barbados and Jamaica and everywhere in the world. That money goes. It doesn't go in our pastor's pocket. Pastors get taken care of. The Lord provide for them through the head office. So I couldn't be a person that goes to church and have to pass your house every day and see you have a Jaguar park up there. I couldn't do it. I don't know how people do that. More power to them. But every facet of our life is affected by the things we're told as children. It's affected by the way we are treated in school, in college, in the home, in marriages. And unless we come to the realization that this is not what my God wants for me, and we wake up and take the steps in creating the person that God intended me to be, I'll be eternally miserable. I always quote my pastor because I just love his brain. Pastor said today, he said, look at it. You give up the world. You don't go to parties. You don't do anything. Yes, we do that, honey. They know what is expected of them. They know what is expected. They know that if this is what I want, this is what I have to do to get there. Pastor said today, he said, can you imagine? You spend your whole life in church. You give up partying. You give up, you give up, you give up. And then you come to church and you just sit there. Nothing moves you. Nothing changes you. But you remember, you're sitting there. And when God come, you're lost. He said, better you stay out there and enjoy the world. Because at least you know why you're being lost. But to be lost because you just sit in church, nothing moves you. You're so humble you can't even open your mouth to praise God. Okay, conversations. No, we get a lot of flack, We get a lot of flack because we don't walk around looking like old maids or slave ships. Being a Christian is one of the hardest things to do, but it's one of the most joyful things. Because I say it every day, the things that I have gone through in life, the most hurt-shattering, heartbreaking emptiness that I have felt is from losing my son. And if I didn't have a radical relationship with my God, if I didn't have friends and family that understood me, depression would have killed me. I wouldn't be here today. It's 3 years coming up in a couple of weeks, or 4 years. I try not to count because it hurts too much. I wouldn't be here. But people come alongside me. I remember my sister called me one day and she said, enough. What are you going to do? Kill yourself? She said, here is it. And this is why we need accountability in our life. Whether it's our husbands, don't use your children. And I'll deal with that another topic. Do not use your children as your accountability partners unless your children are adults. Because too much of us turn over our life to our kids. I'm not going there. That's a different topic, Muriel. That's a different topic. But what I'm saying is, sometimes when life hit you in the gut, exactly conversations. Sometimes when life hit you in the gut, if you don't have somebody to be a little bit of Jesus for you, that can come alongside you and say, hey, I know it hurts. I know, but it's time now to trust God more. I remember my sister called me. I was saying one day, my sister called me. And every time she called, I said, sis, this hurts so bad, this hurts so bad, this hurts so bad. And she sits and she listens. And she listens. And when I'm finished, she says, I'm here for you. I cannot imagine. One of the times she said to me, I think God chose you because he knows you can handle this, because I don't know if I could. And she said to me, if every time I call you, you're going to be like this, I will not call. She says, if every time I call you, you're like this, I'm not going to call you. So when you're ready to know that it will always hurt, but you're going to hold on to my hand and let me help you, call me. And I said, no, don't hang up. She said, get up out of bed. Go put on one of your cute out dresses, or put on your jogging pants and go for a jog. She said, because I will not help you to destroy yourself. Could have taken that on this flip side. Who you think you are? I'm the one that lost my son. Armor greeting, armor sweatpants. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. I could have said to her conversation. I could have said to her, who you think you are? You're not the one lose a child. She said, I'm going to hang up and I promise I'm going to call you back. And when she called back, she says, turn on the phone. I want to see you. And I had my cap on, had my sweatsuit on, and I was going for a run. She said, that's the sister I know. And from that day, I mourn differently. I remind myself that God says we must not mourn that like those that don't know him. But why I bring that up? Because that is my deepest pain. Why I bring that up? Having some accountability partners in our life in areas that we're our weakest, people that's not going to throw it in our face, people that just going to stand with us. They're not going to tell us what to do, how to do it when we're hurting. And again, everything there's a paycheck. Every facet of life we're getting paid. My paycheck was, I woke up and I said, Lord, if I grieve you, it's my humanness, God, I hurt. Yes. And from that day, I keep pushing forward. I keep pushing forward. And we would have our friction and our fights and our whatever. But if I'm ever down because of memories of him, I know you're doing good. You're doing good. You don't give yourself enough credit. You're hanging there. Accountability. It is good to have someone to hold us accountable. Mrs. Lee says. It is. But Mrs. Lee, would you agree with me that you have to choose that person wisely? You have to choose that person wisely. It's not something that you want them to take and whip over your head a couple years from now. So, let's get to the end of this chapter. Here is what she says. Our souls are our true homes. The words in this, I want you to feel welcome when you're around me. Isn't that what we're talking about? The changes that we're doing in our life is not to benefit us, because it just might make us too cocky. It's up to this morning, I said to someone, we were talking, and I said, God has been so good to me, I have to ask him to keep me grounded and don't let me become cocky. The change is not just to benefit us. It's to draw people closer to God by our presence. Okay, Ra, thank you. I'm gonna close up now because I know it's very late. I have not been looking at the time, but my time is not late, but I know you guys' time are late. So I'm gonna be closing now. They said to close on the half an hour, but I can't hold you all here for half an hour more because the last half an hour I wanted to close skip me. So she says our souls are our true home. As we get started in our change, let us make people feel welcome in our home. And our home is not just our edifice, you know. Our home is us when people come in our presence. Someone told me in Trader Joe on Friday, someone saw me and I was shopping and I was humming. And the person said to me, pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt your shopping, but you look so peaceful. And I love your humming. Are you a Christian? And I don't like the word Christian. So I said to her, yes, in your understanding. But for me, I am practicing to be a child of God consistently. And she said it shows. She says, I'm going through chemo. And I just came from my treatments. And I'm feeling so down, and I just decided to come in here and just grab something that I'm not supposed to eat to feel better. And I said to her, you know what? Eat it. Eat it. And we stood there and we chatted for a while. She talked about the nuances of the chemo and the fact that she's an empty nester and the children doesn't live at home. And I was able to tell her that I'm an empty nester too. And I know the challenges of that, but I can't imagine what that's like going through chemotherapy by herself. And she said to me, can we do lunch sometimes? And I said, most certainly. And we exchanged numbers. Why did I say that? To praise myself? No. I felt good because I know the work I'm doing on me. And I know some of the people around me, church, family, friends, neighbors, will not see the growth because they're stuck on the person that I am trying to leave behind. So to hear somebody that doesn't know me, has never met me, can find comfort in me humming because she's broken. That's what it's all about. It's not self-fulfillment I'm doing this for. So when I read the book, I said, wow, I have to share it with my viewers and my supporters. Because aren't we all, as Mrs. Lee says, we all are dealing with something. But Pastor said it so blatantly today. Pastor was on a roll today. If we were in the Pentecostal church today, we would say the Holy Spirit flash him. Okay? Pastor said it's not about us. It's not about us. The change is good for us, but it's so that God will be seen through in us, even one time. Yes, Mrs. Lee, we're all pilgrims, but some of us forget that. Some of us think God talked to us more than, I said it to somebody, God and me we don't carry malice. We don't. The Holy Spirit knows me by my first name. It knows my door. It knows my number. It knows me. So you're not the only one God is talking to. Okay? So I don't need to hear every time you talk to me, the Holy Spirit tell you to tell me. God and I are not in any malice, so he can talk to me too. I don't believe that the Holy Spirit don't speak to people. I do believe it. But when you're using it as a weapon, you see why it's important for us to acknowledge the pain, the things that bring us down, the things that continues to burden us, to free ourselves because it comes in every direction. When you look at the news, you wonder what has become of humanity. There is an individual on the news now that treat people like he made them, treat people like they're not human beings. What caused us to do that? The inability to break the curse of verbal abuse, mental abuse, put down, being neglected, being abandoned, being rejected. When we don't face those things, we can end up like any one of them. So what she says, walk into our purpose by appreciating who God, remind ourselves who God make us to be. Heal where you need. Remember, I'm reading this. I'm not telling you because this is for me too. Heal where you need. Blossom what you choose. Journey towards your calling. Stay as long as you like, where you like. And we were just talking about it. If I don't feel like washing my dishes, just because I'm in a lazy mood, I'm entitled to that. It's my dishes. I'm entitled to it. I'm not married, so I can do that. If you're married and that provokes your husband, now find a way to work that out with him. If you have children and that provoke them, try to work that out with, because each of us has to, as she says, choose where we are. So in my what now, I'm a single woman that lives alone, and if I don't feel like washing my dishes, and I got a dishwasher, but sometimes I just throw them in the sink and leave them there, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine. I'm not nasty. I don't feel like washing no plate today. I don't feel like loading no dishwasher. How many plates can you have so much? It's you alone. I don't care if it's one. I don't feel like putting it in the dishwasher. I'm not. I'm not putting it in there. I'm not. I don't feel like it. I'm lazy. Stay as long as you like. What does that say, Mrs. Lee? Stay as long as you like. Where are you going to stay as long as you like? Raw, where are you going to stay as long as you like? Watch, where are you going to stay as long as you like? Give me an example. We're coming down now. I have to end soon because I'm getting to the half-an-hour mark and I don't want to pass it again. What does that mean? Oh, God, I passed it again. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Stay as long as you like. Where is your stay? Yes. We need to be present in our experience. So where is your stay? When you think of it, stay as long as I like. Stay where? My stay is stay in the moment. Whatever I'm going through, stay there for a minute. Acknowledge the pain. Don't hold on to it. Acknowledge the pain, accept that it hurts, and walk away from it. Change it. Stay there, but don't let it last too long. Stay within your present moment. What I'm trying to get you to point out is a thing. What is that moment? What is that thing in the moment? Oh, Roy says one lady told him that God told her to marry to him, and she, Roy said God didn't tell him yet. Oh my goodness. So stay in my moment would be accepting that this needs to change, accepting it, taking it in, letting it go. Don't use it to become angry. That's where I am. In your center, okay? Stay in your center. Whatever that moment is, you're just going to rest there for a while. Good. You belong here. I'm going to change it. Yes. Balancing it. So I'm going to change her word, and I'm not plagiarizing because I'm not writing. I'm just going to change it a little to bring it home to me also. I belong here. What is your hair? I belong H-E-R-E. Hair. I belong here. What is your hair that you belong? In the conversation, in the moment, in the space that I am, I belong here. Yes, I can sit with you here. Yes, I can fit in. I am worthy. Isn't that what we've been talking about? That we are worthy because Christ says we are worthy. I am worthy to be loved the way I should be loved. I am worthy to stand in His presence as His creation. Guys, I thank you so, so much. It is late, and you guys has stood with me. I hope you've gone at something. Because I tell you guys, the people that bought the book are not here tonight. Maybe it's because of work, because several persons told me. They bought the book, and it's such a good book. It's called Worthy. It's by Jamie Kern Lima. It's on my community page. I think Watch told me she's on a waiting list to get hers at her library. She told me it is in such great demand. So I hope I did this chapter justice. I hope I was able to relay what the writer is trying to get us to look at, to create the change so that we can be the person that God wants us to be. Now, here's the thing. Helen is not here, but I am going to try to do what they call that thing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for your presence, because I know it's late where you are. I know it's late where you are. Thank you so much, Roy. I appreciate it so much. God be praised. God be praised. I am trying to do this thing called RAID. I don't remember how to do it, but I have to get it. I have to get it. Oh, now I remember. I think I remember. Village Food. How are you? Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out of the garden. So nice to see you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let me see what I have to do. I appreciate you, every one of you. I appreciate you so much. I'm about to jump off right now. I'm about to jump off. And I am trying to find someone. Village, are you on now? Are you on now, Village? Let me know if you're live now, Village. Are you live now? Thanks, guys. Thank you so, so much. So, guys, I am going to do a raid right now. And you don't have to stay. Yes, Village, I've been here for about 2 hours. About 2 hours. Thank you so much. I've been here for about 2 hours. Yes. Been here for about 2 hours, so I'm ending now. I'm going to do a raid. And guys, yes, I'm going to do it now raw. I think I'm going to go over to Miss V. So, raid. We're going to do a orange heart rather. And okay, Village, I would love to have you here. I do it every Saturday night. So I know YouTube is not sending out notifications, because what I'm hearing from the YouTube expert is that YouTube wants us to find each other. I don't know why they think they should switch it, but they want us to find each other authentically. That's what I'm hearing in the grapevine. That you two want us to find each other authentically, to search for every so often, to search to see who is live. So I am going to be okay, have a great day. So I am going to go over to Miss V. Guys, raid HCQ. So I'm going to hang up again. Those of you who were in the garden, thank you for coming. I appreciate your visit. Thumbs up on your way out, guys. Thumbs up on your way out. Thanks for coming, and off we go. Off we go. Take care, guys. See you there. You don't have to stay long, 5 minutes, and then you can leave. Thanks for being here. Thanks. See you over there.